You know what most gardeners get wrong? They think January is for hibernating. But while everyone's waiting for spring, there's a secret window opening right now where you can drop plants into the ground that'll basically run on autopilot for the next 20 years. No babysitting. No drama. Just flowers that keep coming back like clockwork while your neighbors are replanting their beds every single season. Stick around because what I'm about to show you is going to change how you think about winter planting forever. Hey there, garden friends. Welcome back to Timeless Gardens. If you're new here, this is where we make gardening feel less like a chore and more like the relaxing hobby it's supposed to be, all without emptying your wallet. I'm so glad you're here today because we're diving into something genuinely exciting. January planting that actually works. And for those of you who've been with me for a while, you know I don't do fluff. Everything I share, I've either grown myself or watched thrive in real gardens. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let me walk you through these 7 absolute champions. Before we jump in, do me a quick favor. If you find even one plant on this list that makes you think, I need that in my garden, go ahead and hit that like button. It helps more people discover these tips, and honestly, it makes my day knowing this stuff is actually useful to you. And if you haven't subscribed yet, tap that button now so you don't miss out on our upcoming videos. We've got some really cool projects coming your way. Alright, let's get into it. So here's the thing about January that most people don't realize. The ground isn't frozen solid everywhere, and even where it is, it's about to thaw. This is prime time for perennials because you're giving them a head start that spring planters will never have. While everyone else is fighting over the picked-over selection at the garden center in April, you're already sitting back watching your garden wake up with zero effort. These 7 plants I'm sharing today? They're not your typical recommendations. I'm talking about the ones that survive neglect, laugh at weather changes, and somehow look better every year without you lifting a finger. This is plant it once, enjoy it forever territory. Plant number 1. Number 1. Bleeding heart, but not the version you're thinking of. Forget the old-fashioned Dicentra spectabilis that everyone knows. I'm talking about the fringed leaf varieties like Luxuriant or King of Hearts. Here's why this is brilliant for January planting. These things go dormant naturally, so dropping them in cold soil is actually ideal. They wake up when they're ready, not when you force them. The magic here is in what happens after you plant them. Come spring, you get these gorgeous ferny leaves that look delicate but are tougher than leather. Then the flowers appear, dangling like little lockets in shades of deep rose or pure white, and they don't just bloom once and bail on you. We're talking months of flowers from spring clear through fall if you pick the right variety. And here's the kicker. Deer hate them. Rabbits won't touch them. They thrive in shade where most flowering plants give up. You literally dig a hole, drop it in, water it once, and walk away. By year 2, you've got a plant that fills space beautifully and asks for absolutely nothing in return. That's the kind of relationship we want with our gardens, right? Plant number 2. Number 2 is going to surprise you. Hellebores. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Those are expensive. But hear me out, because this is where January planting becomes your secret weapon. Hellebores planted in winter establish roots while they're dormant, which means by the time growing season hits, they're already locked in and ready to explode with growth. These plants are honestly unreal. They bloom in late winter when literally nothing else is flowering. Picture this, snow on the ground, gray skies, everything looks dead, and suddenly you've got these gorgeous cup-shaped flowers in cream, pink, deep purple, even spotted varieties. They're evergreen in most climates, so your garden never looks bare. But the real brilliance? Once they're happy, they self-seed. You plant 3, and in a few years you have a whole colony without buying another plant. They handle dry shade, which is basically the garden equivalent of a desert, and they live for decades. I've seen hellebores thriving under trees where grass won't even grow. That's the kind of tough we need. Plant number 3. Coming in at number 3, and this one's a total workhorse. Brunnera, also called Siberian Bugloss, but don't let that unglamorous name fool you. This plant is stunning and stupidly easy. January is actually the perfect time to get this one in because it needs a cold period to really settle in. Here's what makes Brunnera special. You get these clouds of tiny forget-me-not blue flowers in early spring, which is already gorgeous. But then the real show starts. The foliage. We're talking huge heart-shaped leaves that come in silver, variegated white and green, or even spotted patterns that look hand-painted. The leaves stay beautiful from spring until frost. The best part? It spreads to fill space but doesn't turn into a monster that takes over your whole garden. It knows its boundaries. It tolerates shade, handles dry soil once established, and looks intentional even when it's basically raising itself. You want a ground cover that's actually attractive? This is it. Plant it now, and by summer you'll have a lush carpet that looks like you hired a professional landscaper. Quick pause here. If you're enjoying this and already planning your January planting list, drop a comment below and tell me which plant you're most excited about. I read every single comment, and I love hearing what you're growing. Also, if you know someone who's always saying their garden is too shady or too difficult, share this video with them. These plants prove that challenging spots can actually be the most rewarding. Alright, let's keep going because the next 4 are absolute game changers. Plant number 4. Number 4 might just become your new favorite. Epimedium, and yes, it goes by a common name, barrenwort or fairy wings, but honestly the botanical name sounds cooler. This is one of those plants that makes you look like a genius gardener when really it's doing all the work. January planting works perfectly here because epimediums are tough as nails when dormant. They establish in cold soil without any fuss. Come spring, you get these delicate-looking flowers that hover above the foliage like little dancing fairies. Colors range from yellow to pink to white, depending on the variety. But the leaves are where this plant really shines. They emerge bronze or red tinted in spring, mature to green in summer, then turn copper and burgundy in fall. Some varieties are semi-evergreen, so you've got color almost year-round. They spread slowly to form a dense mat that chokes out weeds naturally. No herbicides needed, just plant it and let it do its thing. It handles dry shade, poor soil, and total neglect. This is the definition of plant and forget. Plant number 5. Number 5 is for anyone who wants drama without the maintenance. Japanese painted fern. Now, ferns get a bad reputation for being boring, but this one laughs at that stereotype. The fronds are silver, burgundy, and green all mixed together like someone took a paintbrush to them. They practically glow in shade. Planting in January means the roots establish while the plant is dormant, so when spring arrives, you get full, gorgeous fronds immediately instead of waiting for a struggling plant to recover from transplant shock. This fern stays compact, reaching about 12 to 18 inches tall, so it's perfect for tight spaces or layering in front of taller plants. Here's why I love it. Ferns are ancient plants. They've been around for millions of years, surviving everything nature throws at them. They don't need fertilizer. They don't need deadheading. They don't need dividing every few years. You plant it in shade with decent moisture, and it just lives its best life. Year after year, those painted fronds emerge like clockwork. If you want that lush, woodland garden vibe without the work, this is your plant. Plant number 6. Number 6 is going to fill space like nothing else. Siberian iris. Now, you might be thinking regular iris, been there, done that. But Siberian iris is a completely different beast. These are the tough, no-nonsense cousins of those fussy bearded iris that need constant attention. January planting works beautifully because iris rhizomes actually prefer being planted when they're dormant. They settle in without stressing out. Come late spring, you get these elegant flowers on tall stems, usually in shades of blue, purple, white, or yellow. The flowers are gorgeous, but they're not even the main event. The real value is in the foliage. Siberian iris has these narrow, grass-like leaves that stay upright and attractive all season long. They create vertical interest and texture even when nothing's blooming. They tolerate wet soil, dry soil, clay, poor drainage, you name it. They're deer-resistant, pest-resistant, and honestly just about everything resistant. You plant them once and they clump up beautifully over the years, giving you more flowers without any effort. They're the gift that keeps giving. Plant number 7. And finally, number 7. The ultimate plant and forget champion. Hosta. Now, I can already hear some of you saying that's too common, too boring. But stay with me because I'm not talking about your grandma's green hostas. The new varieties are absolutely incredible, and January is hands down the best time to plant them. When you plant hostas dormant in January, they put all their energy into root development instead of trying to push out leaves. By the time growing season starts, they're anchored in deep and ready to thrive. And the variety now is insane. We're talking blue-gray leaves the size of dinner plates, miniature varieties with leaves smaller than your thumb, chartreuse that lights up dark corners, variegated patterns that look hand-painted. Hostas are indestructible in shade. They multiply slowly so you can divide them and spread them around or trade with neighbors. They need virtually no care once established. The flower spikes in summer are a bonus, and some varieties are even fragrant. This is the plant you put in a difficult shady spot and forget about it for 20 years, only to walk by one day and realize it's doubled in size and looks incredible. That's real low-maintenance gardening. So there you have it. 7 absolute powerhouses that you can plant this January and basically ignore for years while they make your garden look intentional, lush, and beautiful. No constant watering, no endless deadheading, no babying them through every season. Just strong, reliable plants that understand the assignment. If this video helped you, do me a huge favor and smash that like button. It genuinely helps the channel grow and means I can keep bringing you practical, budget-friendly garden tips. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Drop a comment below and let me know which of these 7 you're planting first, or if you have experience with any of them, share your tips. I love learning from you guys too. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Now get out there, get some plants in the ground, and let's make this January the start of your easiest garden year yet. I'll see you in the next one. Happy planting!